Hello, everyone, and welcome to Metro Matters. I'm Mary Sitt. Technology is changing the way we get around. Uber disrupted the taxi industry, and driverless vehicles are no longer something in a science fiction movie. The future is now. And here to tell us more about innovation in transportation is Kim Williams, Chief Innovation Officer at Metro. Kim has held many important roles at Metro, including Deputy Chief Procurement Officer and Chief Administration Officer. She's a graduate of Howard University and Wayne State Law School. Kim, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell me what Metro is doing about driverless vehicles. Are we really going to have something like that?
You know, we will, not in the immediate future in terms of having a vehicle with no attendant at all. That is not our focus. But we are bringing an autonomous shuttle to Houston. It will be the first one, and we're really excited. And it will happen at Texas Southern University in the spring. And it will be a single shuttle that will be a connection along the campus route initially for phase one. And we'll evaluate it, look at how it works, whether or not it fits within our system, and then we'll look at expanding it from there. But it will have an attendant on board. But the great thing about this vehicle is that it can drive itself.
Now, will the attendant actually be driving it or be just stand by in case something happens?
They will be on standby in case something happens. The vehicle will be able to operate on its own.
And students will be able to hop on and off this shuttle?
Correct.
Going down, what, a 2-mile stretch or what?
Yes, it's a section of the campus that they call Tiger Walk, and it's a straight walkway through the campus. It's about a mile long, and there'll be 3 stations along Tiger Walk, and students will be able to get on and off from there. And it'll be for students, faculty, staff, and campus guests as well.
Can they just flag it down at stops, or it stops at certain?
No, it'll stop at certain stops. What we want to look at is how this could be used as a metro service. So initially we want to look at it as a dedicated route with the defined stops along the way. We may get to a point in the future where you would be able to flag it down.
How many passengers would this shuttle hold?
The shuttle that we're looking at will hold 12 passengers, 6 seated, 6 standing. If there's a wheelchair on board, then that may decrease the number of people that can stand or sit on the shuttle.
And that if it's successful, at what point would you use it for one of our rail lines?
Well, we are looking at a couple of uses for it. First is the first and last mile connection. We will eventually connect to the light rail station at Scott Street. And so it won't replace the light rail. It will be a connection for people to better connect to public transit.
Will people just tap and get on in terms of the fare, or that's part of the fare?
For the first phase, there's no fee involved. There's no fare involved. We just want people to use it and get their impression of it and just see how it operates. However, when we move to phase 2 and expanding it, we will be charging a fare. It will go in line with our traditional metro fare. So whatever the fare card is collecting at that time will be what that vehicle collects. We are asking people, however, to use their Q card when they come on board, just so we can track ridership, who's coming on board, and hopefully be able to follow up with them with their feedback.
So if anybody can try this out, they just go to the TSU campus? Can you just do that and hop on?
Anyone can try it out. Now, TSU is campus open to the public, but it is a university environment, and we want to be respectful that they're our host.
Okay.
And so we are asking if you want to see the shuttle, and if you have a group or that wants to come, to contact us in the Office of Innovation, and we can arrange that so that we don't interfere with any campus operations.
Kim, how safe are autonomous vehicles? You know, in the news every once in a while you hear about some autonomous cars sort of doing some weird thing and hits something or someone, which is really awful.
And that's a great question, and it's something that we're definitely looking at very closely. They are, in the bulk of their use, they've been very safe. There have been situations where there have been some incidents, and we are carefully watching those. I think some of the accidents that have been seen deal with passenger vehicles that have been retrofitted with the technology, and they're being managed by, in some cases, maybe a untrained operator. You can go and buy an autonomous vehicle today and operate it. So some people do, and sometimes that's where accidents occur. On the shuttles are designed with the technology embedded. Okay. So they are designed for this purpose. We will have a trained attendant on board who will be very conscious of the vehicle, how it operates, and the environment that it's in. They do have a number of cameras and sensors, and the technology itself is very aware of its environment and able to stop if it senses there's any obstacle in the environment or coming into the environment.
It would just automatically stop.
It will automatically stop.
When do you anticipate the first and last mile usage of the shuttle for Metro? A year from now, maybe, or 8 months from now?
It will probably be within the year. Once the pilot is complete, we'll work with TSU to evaluate their findings and make a decision and evaluate how we move forward. There will also be construction happening around the campus, and so we are also looking at doing that expansion during the construction, because that's been one of the key questions around autonomous vehicles. How do they really work in a real world environment? And if you're driving in Houston, more than likely you'll be driving in construction. Exactly. We have great partners and stakeholders engaged in the process. In addition to Texas Southern, we have the Houston-Galveston Area Council who's partnering with us. We have the City of Houston. University of Houston is also engaged. And so through all of our partnerships, we hope to have the expansion up and running within the year.
That's terrific.
It is. We're very excited. We're very excited. You have to remember that in the state of Texas, you can operate an autonomous vehicle today. There's no restriction.
That's sort of scary.
There's no restriction.
I look over, there's no driver next to me, but the car's moving.
Exactly. And that law has been here for 2 years now. And so there are autonomous vehicles in our environment. So we also need to be aware as operators, like what does that mean for our operators operating our existing service of buses and paratransit vehicles operating in this new mixed environment?
And that would take more training for our current drivers then to adjust to that kind of
Exactly.
Right.
So we're looking at it twofold. We're looking at it for potential route or potential service, but we're also looking at it as how do we train our operators to be prepared when they do encounter another vehicle that is autonomous.
So do you envision Metro having a mixed fleet someday where some of it's traditional buses that we know now and some of it's a hybrid of autonomous and a driver on board?
I absolutely see that. And I think there are some use cases today where autonomous vehicles would function very well. We have a number of campuses, the oil and gas campuses that exist, that may not be set up for a larger size bus, but could accommodate a smaller autonomous vehicle very well. And because they serve such a defined population, it's hard to justify creating a route just for that. But we could operate an autonomous vehicle service for some of these medical parks, business campuses, first and last mile connections that run on a loop. That would give us an opportunity to put more operators on the larger vehicles to service the rest of the high capacity fleet that we have. So we definitely see a mixed fleet coming in our future. When, that's that's still the debate.
It sounds very exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
We can take a little break right now. We'll be right back with more from Kim Williams, who will tell us about a new super bus that acts more like a train. We'll explain when we get back.
Our story starts here, where 4 million people will move by 2040. That's like everyone from Austin, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Arlington, and Dallas. Think of the traffic. We've got to do something. And transportation is key. You asked Metro for a transit plan that provides faster connections and a better customer experience. Now we need input on a new plan before it's final.
Let's continue the conversation.
Find a meeting at metronext.org.
We've been talking with Kim Williams, Chief Innovation Officer at Metro. Metro is drafting a plan with input from the public on meeting the regional transit needs of our future. It's called Bus Rapid Transit. Kim, tell us more about Bus Rapid Transit.
Well, thank you, Mary. Bus Rapid Transit is an exciting new opportunity for Houston. There will be a new Bus Rapid Transit line coming to the Uptown Corridor if anyone's traveled to the Galleria lately. And the great thing about Bus Rapid Transit is that it gives you all of the amenities of rail for much less of a cost. And it gives you the same level of service with unique stations. It gives you off-fare boarding, so it's efficient and easy boarding. It has great schedule opportunities, so if you're wanting to be on schedule but feel like maybe the bus hasn't done that for you, Bus Rapid Transit fixes a lot of those scheduling issues. And so I think that's the great thing about it, and I think people will really enjoy it once the service is here on the ground.
Do you know about how much time it would shave off a regular route typically?
Well, it operates much like a light rail vehicle, so we could set it so that it has, a bus that comes every 10 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever the case might be. So you would be able to schedule your trip knowing that you would be able to count on that travel at certain times.
And then because it travels in a lane exclusively for the bus, that particular type of bus,
Right.
it can go faster, right?
The version that will be in Uptown is on a dedicated lane. And so that will allow it to move without the usual impediments of traffic flow, and it should be able to move faster along the route.
Will there be vending machines and restrooms and all those sort of amenities too eventually at different ones?
That's the hope. We want to be able to bring all those things as a part of the bus rapid transit package. It will depend on where it's located and what facilities are available to us. But where we have those opportunities, we definitely want to create some enhancements and make it as comfortable for the customer as possible with charging stations, with vending machines, and restrooms if that is available.
Charging stations, nice. Will the buses have like USB outlets? So you can
They would
plug
have
in your-
USB outlets, or if you're waiting for a new bus to come, then you might have an area where you can charge up quickly and then be on your way. And that was one of the features that we saw at bus rapid transit properties in Las Vegas in particular. That was very popular.
Who else is doing this besides Vegas?
Actually, it's a growing trend around the country. So about 20 cities have projects going on now, and one of the oldest is the Cleveland line, which has become very, very popular. It's the highest rated bus rapid transit in the country, and it runs about 11 miles, and it similar to Houston, it runs through an area from the Central Business District to the Medical Center. And so we were able to go and observe that and get feedback from actual customers about how much they've enjoyed the service. And they liked it so much that when the opportunity came to convert it to a light rail line, they said, no, we really have enjoyed the BRT
Keep it.
experience, and they have kept
Keep it
it,
a BRT.
and they are expanding. So you'll see it in Cleveland, you'll see it in Las Vegas. It's been very helpful in California. They've rolled out in Los Angeles several bus rapid transit lines, and it has received great feedback. And Los Angeles is similar to Houston, and it's
very spread out.
car-centric.
Yeah.
It's very spread out, very car-centric. But bus rapid transit has been overwhelmingly successful there.
So it's a lot cheaper to build than train lines, rail lines, right?
It is.
And it's faster to get going in terms of startup time.
It's easier to ramp up because you don't have to install the rails. The utility relocation, which is traditionally done with light rail projects, is an option. In bus rapid transit, you can do it or you cannot, and it'll still function the same way. So that makes it more cost effective and is less intrusive to the environment and to surrounding customers. Because whenever you deal with utility relocations, you may interrupt utilities for a period of time.
Kim, as Chief Innovation Officer at Metro, you look at a lot of new technology, how to make transit better. Can you tell me about some of the different projects Metro's doing in the near future?
We're also looking to bring Wi-Fi on bus. We know that that's
On all of the buses?
at some point.
That's
yes.
so exciting.
We are very excited. We will be launching a pilot program right now in partnership with the City of Houston and with Microsoft. So Microsoft is sponsoring a project where they will do a number of Wi-Fi buses, do a number on the local line, on a park and ride line, and then our light rail line, just one of them at the moment. But we want to be able to evaluate how that works, if customers embrace it and what they want to see out of the service. And if people like what they see, we'll look at expanding it throughout the fleet. So
That
we're
sounds
very
wonderful.
excited about those opportunities.
So one more reason to ride the bus and ride the train and ride Metro.
Absolutely. And we are excited about that, and one of the great benefits is you'll be able to drive less and do more because you'll have these opportunities available to you.
Kim, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I
We'll
appreciate
leave
it.
that car in the garage. That's all for this edition of Metro Matters. Join the conversation on our blog at ridemetro.org. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Mary Sitt. Thanks for watching.
It was the largest rainfall in U.S. history. The region was underwater and people needed our help. I worked with first responders throughout the night to evacuate folks, young and old, trapped by the flood. So much water. It was hard to tell where the road began or ended. People will cry, laugh, even clap when they saw us arrive. They call us heroes, but we were just helping our neighbors. It's what we do at Metro.